everybody, my name's Lindy Cowling, and if you want to find out more about who I am, you can check out my website on www.lindycowling.co.uk. And I'm here today to do this video to try to talk some more in depth about the twin flame union. The twin flame union is something that is very dear to my heart because I have 3 years physical experience of processing through this union. So where I'd like to start really is I'd like to start right back at the very beginning. If you've watched the previous video that I did, Awakening Twin Flames, you will have had a flavour or an idea of what they are, but I'll just kind of condense that again for anybody that hasn't seen that video. Is that twin flames are a masculine and feminine charge, if you like, of a one soul being, the same frequency, so part of the same soul. And when twin flames come into this physical reality, into physical embodiment, there is a period of time that we particularly had a nickname for. We used to call it the room 2 connection, kind of the room 2 ignition. Gold Ray Twin Flames, Mel and Nicole, who I am a huge not only advocate of, but I resonate with their frequency. They call this period of time the bubble love. So it's well documented, and if you have connected with a twin, then you would have experienced this. But we'll call it ignition. When the twin flames come in, there's this period of time that can last between weeks or months, but not generally longer than that, where you connect at the pure frequency of the soul. The pure frequency of the soul without the interference, if you like, of the brain or the ego. Because in a so-called normal third dimensional, your idea of third dimensional reality, in a so-called normal connection, you would connect with somebody from the mind. You would connect with them from the lower chakra levels. It's usually the lower chakras up, base chakras up. So to be quite honest, that would be more of a physical and sexual attraction, and an attraction, a chemical reaction, and love from the mind. When genuine twin flames connect, it's all the other way round. So they may not even feel a sexual or chemical attraction to start with. It will be a spiritual connection, soul connection, chemical and sexual attraction, if at all, coming last, physical attraction coming last. It's that way round, everything in reverse. And so when they ignite, when there's ignition, when they first come into the bubble love phase, the very beginning, there are a number of things that can happen, which some of the things that can happen, it can also happen with someone that's a heart awakening catalyst, but there are differences with twin flames, but there are similarities between them and heart awakening catalysts as well. Some of the things that can happen is you can see and feel within the other person, the other twin, the other part of the soul that you're connecting with. You can experience and see past lives that you have lived and experienced with them. Personally, from my point of view, I am a medium clairvoyant anyway, so I had an ability to see that to a certain extent anyway, but my twin wasn't a medium clairvoyant, and he could see me shift physically so that my characteristics would change completely to another timeline that we had lived in or are simultaneously living in. That's a whole nother video, but that's multidimensionality, when you are aspects of your soul are existing in other timelines, what you would call the past and future and now at the same time. But that's another ball game. We'll talk about that another time. But when you connect with the twin flame, you can sometimes see the past life aspects in them. You can see them appear in their face, in their personality, in their characteristics, or you can feel it. But that's not always, but that was something that happened with us. You have a huge shift in your energy. So I was going to say that you have telepathic abilities with a twin, but that's quite commonplace with soul connections these days anyway. So that isn't really a dead giveaway. That is another thing that can happen. Apart from the telepathy, you can have a profound change in your tastes of what you like, and you can actually experience what the other twin is doing or eating and feel that in your energy field, something that you've never done or ate before, for example. You can have things like that. You have a profound kundalini, what we call kundalini energy awakening, that all happens as well at the same time. You can connect with this person and feel huge, immense intensity of love that has a massive effect on the heart, because the soul and the spirit communicate through the heart. That is why the heart is the main area. That's where the soul talks from. I always call the heart the voice box of the soul. That's what it talks from. So you can have profound sensations in the heart. Again, you can have that with a heart awakening catalyst, but usually, you don't get all these other, we call them symptoms as well. You can have this immense enhancement in your own creative abilities and sometimes psychic abilities as well, because again, genuine twin flames are in to help with creative endeavours and creative endeavours for humanity, creative projects for humanity. But also the energy of creation is in the heart. So as the heart fires up, the creative potential fires up. So, I mean, I'm giving you an idea of what this is like, and these things can fire up all at once, or they can be gradual stages. And how I found it to be, or we found it to be, is that we would have what you call realizations. So we would go sort of so many days or a week or two like this, and then there would be a shift. We would have a realization on something that would then affect the layers of energy around us. We have layers of energy, all of us around us, called the etheric body, the emotional body, of the mental body, not just the aura. And when you have a realization, you have a shift, like something goes like that out in one of the energy bodies, like the emotional body, the etheric body. And we would have what we call a light bulb moment, a realization, and then we would shift up a level. So you've got all kind of gizmos going on. And this period of time, this is not what you would call boy meets girl, and then you have, when a boy meets girl, a man meets a woman, and you have that attraction, and you have the honeymoon period. That's not this. People watching this might say, oh, that's just the honeymoon period. No, it isn't. It's way beyond that. It's a completely different ball game to that. It's more than euphoria, and you, like I say, you connect with this person on all levels of love. The highest level being like tears rolling down your eyes, an angelic connection, heart going crazy, pouring with love. Everything seems bright, all the colours in everything are sharper, your sense of hearing is acute. It's like you go super senses, really. Everything goes so amazing, expanded. Like I say, this period will last for so long, and then what happens is that what you're doing as a twin flame when you're in that period of time, you are at your optimal frequency. You are actually being the real you. So, for example, Lindy personality, when I was in that period of time, ignition, you know, in that period of time, which for us was several months before the frequency started to drop. What will happen is in that time, you will be at the best being you could possibly be, your what we call the optimal state. So normal third dimensional, what you would call third dimensional Lindian personality is not at her optimal best, like none of us are. Our optimal best is when you feel absolutely fantastic, tip-top in health, full of love, full of joy, full of energy, full of light, huge enhancement in your abilities, not just creative but across the board. That's everybody's optimal best, regardless of a twin flame or not. That's what your soul and your cells and your body and your spirit is crying out for all the time. So when you have this period of time, you're at your optimal best and you're in a complete state of peace. And this is a really strange thing to describe, because I had never been, like most of us, had never been in a state of peace in my life. So then to feel what we call bliss, that's the other word for it. I don't call it bliss, but others would call it bliss, that state of peace. When we used to use this line, and actually it makes me profoundly moved, and you can probably see it in my face to say it because I can actually feel the emotion that went with that. But we used to say if we died in that moment, it couldn't be better, because it was such a state of bliss, such a state of peace that it's almost indescribable, that nothing could match it. And so you maintain this for so long, and then what happens is your optimal state, your frequency, your vibration, the speed at which you're moving starts to drop. It starts to drop, to be quite blunt, because there is a lot of muck. I'll use the word muck and not the word I was going to use, in the energy field that has to be cleared. All the blockages that you came in with, blockages in the personality, blockages in the bloodline, in the family history, in the genetics, all that has to be cleared. And as you start to drop, your bliss and your happiness and pouring with love starts to become, drops more into the physical world more, which it is supposed to, because twin flames are here to embody. That's what embody means, to live it, to be in a physical body and live it. And then as it does this, of course, it impacts. So that's when the stuff really hits the fan. That's when a lot of twin flames bust up and go apart and stay apart. That's when some go apart for a while and then come back in. That's when all the emotional stuff comes up, not just for the twin flame unit, the two of them, the masculine and feminine, but for the whole family stuff, you know, starts coming up, but it comes up through the twins. Loads of stuff. That's commonly when you get the twin flame runner, when one of them bolts because they can't cope with it. I have to say that 99.9% of the time, the one that bolts is the male that runs from it. And so you get all these, like I say, there are variations on a theme because every set of twins is different. But this ignition period is vital, and this is why I want to speak about this on video today, because that changes the whole energy of the twins, the lives of the twins. It changes the template, because twin flames are a template, the whole perception of love, of connection, of male-female connection, of what you thought relationships were, because that's all blown out of the water. Everything is in reverse. It reverses the whole paradigm of love. And the more twins that experience that ignition, that bubble love, that period of energy, the better it is for everyone, really. The better it is for humanity, not just for those two individuals, because like I say, it reverberates out like throwing a grenade into the middle of something. The impact of it, the loving impact of it, reverberates out not just with them, but across the families, across the bloodlines, and across humanity, to forever change the old ideas of what love was. And that is where I'm going to finish for today. So I will love you and leave you, and thank you very much for listening, and I'll be back soon. From my heart to yours. Thank you. Bye bye.